Long ago, before the two-legged walked the earth, weather was always warm. We're always happy. But one day, something happened to cause the earth to grow cold. Tiny crystals glittering like diamonds drifted down from the sky, covering earth with a sparkling softness. The animals, seeing snow for the very first time, were not afraid. But soon the snow deepened and Mouse disappeared. The tip of his tail was all the animals could see, and the animals began to worry. Then Rabbit disappeared. The tips of his ears were all the animals could see, and they worried some more. At last they gathered together in a clearing deep inside the forest to talk about the weather. What was needed, they decided, was a messenger to travel at once to the great sky spirit and ask him to stop the snow. But who would be willing to leave Earth to visit the distant place where the sky spirit dwelled? Possum said,
Owl's wisest. Perhaps he should go.
but the animals argued.
No!
They all said he might get lost in the light of day, so Owl should not go. Then Beaver said,
Perhaps Raccoon should go.
but the animals argued some more.
No!
He might follow his tail instead of his nose. Raccoon should not go, they all agreed. Then Skunk said,
Perhaps Coyote should go.
but the animals kept arguing and they shouted, Coyote! Coyote is clever and loves to play tricks. He might chase the clouds or swallow the wind. Coyote should not go. So those noisy animals screeched and howled, and they kept arguing because they could not decide who should go visit that sky spirit to tell him to stop the snow. The animals continued to argue, and so the snow grew deeper and deeper and deeper, and the small animals had to climb on top of the tall animals so they would not disappear. Suddenly, down from the top of the tallest tree flew Rainbow Crow, the most beautiful bird on earth, and he called out to all the animals below in the sweetest voice of all birds.
I will go, I will stop the snow.
He will go, he will stop the snow.
I will go, I will stop the snow.
He will go, he will stop the snow.
And the animals were so happy at last to have Crow as their messenger that they chanted this song of praise.
Green rainbow crow, stop the snow. Fly to the sky high, green rainbow crow. Green rainbow crow.
Then high up into the sky flew Rainbow Crow far above the snow and the winds of the earth, way beyond the moon and way beyond the stars and the clouds. and for 3 days Crow flew, until he came upon this great sky spirit. But the great sky spirit was much too busy to notice. So Rainbow Crow began to sing a song, a lullaby.
Oh, great spirit in the sky, you rule the earth from way up high. You make the creatures large and small. You are the ruler of us all. You make the trees and flowers grow. You cause the wind and clouds to blow. You make the rain, you make the snow. You make the cold on earth below. Oh, great spirit in the sky, for you I sing this lullaby.
Sky Spirit stopped to listen. Never before had he heard such a sweet voice sing such a beautiful song. And he told Crow to choose a gift. Now Crow knew that far below on earth the snow was getting so deep that soon all the animals would disappear. So he asked the Great Spirit to stop the snow. But the Great Spirit replied,
No, Crow, I cannot stop the snow. Because snow has a spirit of its own. When Snow Spirit leaves the clouds to visit with his friend Wind Spirit, the snow will stop, but earth will still be cold.
So Crow asked the Great Spirit to stop the cold. And the Great Sky Spirit replied,
No, Crow, I cannot stop the cold. All I can do is give you the gift of fire. Fire will keep you warm and will melt the snow so that your friends will be content until warm weather returns.
the Great Spirit picked up a stick, put a bit of fire on it, and handed it to Crow.
I will give you this gift but once. Hurry, fly back to earth before the fire disappears.
And off Crow flew. On the first day, as Crow flew down, showering sparks of fire darkened his tail feathers. On the second day, as Crow flew down, the fire burned brighter and the stick grew shorter, and all of Crow's feathers were covered with soot. On the third day, as Crow flew down, the fire was hot, and the stick was so short that smoke and ash blew into Crow's mouth, and his voice became cracked and hoarse. And when at last Crow returned to the clearing in the forest, all the animals had disappeared. Only the tops of the tallest trees could be seen, their branches sprouting through the deep snow. So Crow flew down close to the pale, pale ground, around and around until the fire melted the snow and his friends were safe. And this tiny stick of fire became the grandfather of all fires, and for this, all the animals on earth thanked Crow. They sang a song of praise. At last, Crow, all alone, flew off to a distant tree where he wept. He was very sad because he was no longer beautiful. He could no longer sing a sweet song, and his rainbow feathers were gone forever. When Snow Spirit emptied the clouds and joined Wind Spirit, the snow finally stopped, but Crow still wept. The great Sky Spirit heard Crow crying and came down from the sky. And when he saw Crow, he said,
Soon the two-legged will appear on earth. He will take fire colors on earth. If you look closely, you will see.
Then Crow looked, and he saw hundreds of tiny rainbows shining in his black feathers, and he was content. The Great Spirit returned to his home in the distant sky, and Crow happily returned to his friends in the forest, proud that he was now Black Crow, with shining feathers full of tiny rainbows. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed our presentation of Rainbow Crow.